Good evening everyone, buonasera a tutti, hello friends of Musicoff and amici di Musicoff. Tonight will be an amazing evening. I'm so excited because it's an honor to have Andy Timmons with us. Really, tonight will be an outstanding show, so be prepared, get your time, sit down, get a fresh beer and popcorn and whatever, and get a very nice headset or a very nice audio setup so you will feel what we feel here with Andy. Really excited. So just 2-3 suggestions for you tonight. I see many people looking this live stream from abroad. Musicoff is the biggest Italian community for musicians, and we usually do this kind of live streams with many Italian artists. And time to time we host some special guests like Andy. So the live stream will be completely in English, like this one. I apologize for my bad English, you know. I'm an Italian, poor Italian people. So be patient with me. I'll do my best. I suggest you, Andy will play tonight. He has an outstanding set and outstanding sound. So I suggest you to check this live stream on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, or even better on our Twitch channel. Twitch, it's a platform really dedicated to streaming, and the video and audio, it's a lot higher quality. So I suggest you to be there, even because you can interact tonight with us and doing questions for Andy, but only through Twitch. You can see your comments on the live stream, even coming from YouTube, but I can get all the questions only from Twitch. It's a lot easier. I have this timer now, so in 2 minutes we will start this live stream. In the meantime, let me say hello to some of our friends. Guys, you are very many. There are 400 people online already. We are streaming at the same time on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch. So really welcome everyone. Good evening, Samuele. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, you're gonna have an AirTag. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Who else brings people like this one on live? Yeah, I'm really proud of this. Dr. Scholl, Domenico Nitti, Temistocle Bello, Marco Kram, Wolfgang Kortzen, good evening, mate. Davide Ciura, good evening, Ignazio. Oh my god. Nice one. Egidio Di Nardo, Joseph Muller, Noemi Terrasi, good evening. Massimo Giannelli, Enrico Loiacono. Guys, you have very many. Gianluca Ferro, another fantastic Italian player you need to discover. And in 1 minute we are going to go. Diego Budicin, Vince Carpentieri, so many friends and so many guests that have been here in live stream with Musicoff in the past few months. So guys, 45 seconds, please. As I said before, join us tonight on Twitch. It's a lot better for quality and video and audio quality. It's very easy. You just need to go to twitch.tv/Musicoff community. It's just open your browser and open up. You can create an account and follow the channel. You're very welcome, of course. But if you just need to see, go on YouTube or better to Twitch, so you can enjoy this sound. We tried yesterday the rehearsal for the setup, and really we got emotionally moved. Okay, guys, let's get this show on the road. So everyone, are you ready for this evening? There are 500 people online at the moment, and now we'll start having a little chat with Andy. We will listen to his fantastic music. We will go through his career, his sound, how he developed a new song, and some of his secrets, you know, even about gear. So feel free also to do your questions on Twitch. And then in the middle of the live stream, we will have 2 very special guests, 2 close friends of Andy, and they will have a special question for him, but he doesn't know who they are. So it's like a surprise for Andy too. So, okay, guys, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andy Timmons.
Hey.
Hello, Andy.
Hey,
welcome.
Man. Wow, Tom, what an introduction.
Yeah.
Man, and
yeah,
hello to everybody tuning in. Well, my friends in Italy, buonasera, ciao.
Yeah, you speak a very nice Italian, at least
about 4
even better
words
than my English.
Yeah, espresso and patata. But anyway, no, I'm very honored to be here, Thomas, and we've met before, and so good to be back with you. And to all my Italian friends, like I say, ciao. And but I know we got folks tuning in from all over the place, down the street from me,
of course,
and around the world. So I'm honored and very, very happy to be here with you. You know.
Okay, Andy, I suggest if you don't mind, we can start this show with the best thing you can do. I mean, playing something, so we can get inside the right mood, you know.
Yeah.
And then we can have a little chat.
Okay,
you
so
ready?
I'm gonna get my tone going here, and then I'll turn the mic off here in a second.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing, Andy. Really.
Well, every now and then you get off the rails, but that's part of live. That's part of live guitar, and that's one of those songs I've played for so many years that there's a lot of times where sometimes I'll just try to forget what I've done before and just try to channel something new, and that's what I was attempting.
Yeah, I see.
Some notes were better than others.
I got tears in my eyes, really.
Oh.
There are about 200 comments already. I just picked some of them. A night we will remember forever. He played
Nice.
already lost in this tone. Miracle touch.
Thank you, guys. Very kind.
And then Vince Carpentieri said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tone." Really.
Well, thank you, guys.
17. Yeah, he says, "I close my eyes and it seems to be like to be there next to you." Wow, thanks, guys. And Dr. Scholl says, "What an amazing sound." And Sam Perduca says, "Definitely the best sound on the earth." And of course, the best hands, really.
Oh, man. Well, I'm honored by all that, but yeah, thank you. It's a work in progress. I mean, there's not one of us that doesn't feel the same about what we're doing, in that, there's a bit of pride that comes with a lot of work, to try to better our craft, whatever it is in life. But obviously we're here because of our love for the instrument, but for me too, it's like I'm sitting here going, I'm hearing other things. I'm wishing for higher levels of connection. There's some things that I might feel in the moment that, okay, I'm getting what I'm hearing, but there's always that wanting to strive to get better and to improve. But that's, I realized, throughout my life, but even more so in my later career, that's really that's the beauty. That's that knowing that you'll never really get there, but embracing that bit of discomfort and that bit of unsatisfactory part of your psyche, but that's what drives you, and if I didn't have that, I don't think it would be as much fun. If I felt like I'd arrived at, oh, that's a great sound or that's a great performance, I might be okay with some of it, but some of it, I know there's so much better that I can do, and because I hear it coming from all the other players, as far as what's possible. You can't not listen to the beauty of Eddie Van Halen and Eric Johnson or Alan Holdsworth or Chuck Berry. There's so much, I could pick every name out there. There's so much beauty and possibility with the instrument. And I think we're just still scratching the surface. So,
indeed. I always remember one sentence you said last time we were online with Ciro and Sebo,
Yeah.
You said this sentence about career and playing and music, of course. It doesn't matter where you have to go only, but how you get there, the road, the travel, the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really remember that.
Well, that's true. I mean, and then again, we can be so worried about the destination that we're not enjoying that part of it. But that's where we are always. I mean, when you think about it, we're never there. We're always on that road, right? So it's setting the focus and I don't know, some of the expectations to make sure that it's not all unhappiness and stressful and an unsatisfactory part of life. I'm enjoying that process, even though you're not where you could be or will be. But man, this is all we have now. We can't change yesterday. We're not promised tomorrow, right? And this is it, man. This is so. And I treat every time I pick up the instrument, especially with other humans, and even if we're not in the same room, we're virtually in the same room, wherever you're eating your popcorn and your beer right now. I love that you said it. Get your popcorn and your headphones. I don't see you, but I feel you, and I first and foremost, I don't want to let myself down. I have a very high level of expectation, and I know you guys are wanting me to do well, and I know you're pulling for me. So it's not necessarily a stress, but it's a thing that I want to make each time I pick up the guitar one of the best times, because again, I can't change what I did yesterday, and I don't know if I got tomorrow. So let's make now the best it can be. Right?
Yeah, I see. Yeah. It seems to me you every time you play, even if we are just you and me at the moment, even if there are more than 700 people looking at this live show at the moment, you always enjoy it. It's like when you have the venue in front of you. So it's really nice for me to be here with you and see that you are enjoying this evening. You are enjoying your playing and your talking. So Thanks
thank
a
you.
lot.
No,
mate.
obviously it's an honor this is what I get to do. I get to play this instrument that I've literally spent my entire life, being a fan of, and to participate in that on some level and have people that want to hear it. It's an honor, and I don't take it lightly. So why not, give it your best every time? And yeah, I do. I'm always, even if I'm not consciously thinking about it, I am very aware that this is a fortunate thing that we all have. Every one of us, everybody tuned in right now, this is a blessing that we have so much passion for something in our lives. Not everybody has that. Life is complicated in the world these days. There's a lot going on. And so to have something that we can focus on that's positive and uplifting, and music to me is always, even if it's sad music, it's uplifting in its own way. If it's happy music, it's giving you energy, push your fist in the air, rock and roll. That's beautiful, but we also need the place to feel the deeper, sadder emotions, and to give people, an arena to do that in, so to speak. A place where it's safe to feel all this stuff, right?
Yeah,
we need to get that emotion out, man. And I've often said with instrumental music, it's the spoken and written language is very finite. The ways that we can communicate with a lyric or a spoken word. I think that music can go a lot deeper because it's not constrained by the verbiage, by the actual, this word means this and this word means this. There can be a deeper level of connection, and without the language barrier too, that the music can permeate, without anybody needing to understand the native language of the artist,
Yes, it's comfortable to have you saying something like this from a big artist like you with a long career, still having this profound passion for music and enjoying with people and relationship. Really, I'm really thankful to have you saying this. Beside all the fantastic things you play,
well, thank you.
But I think the most incredible players I've met in my life, they are always outstanding people. There is a person behind. So really, thank you, mate.
Well,
Thank you very much.
I recognize that in a lot of my favorite artists, be it a specific guitarist or just a songwriter performer. The truly great ones are really, they're really just reflective of who they are. They're not putting on any kind of, facade. You really feel like when Hendrix played, it was the same. The way he spoke was very flowerful, beautiful language, man. It was groovy, and he played that way. And you just felt like his music was him. He wasn't trying to be something that he wasn't. He was just doing it was him, I feel, so he's just, and Eddie Van Halen was the same way. There was such joy in the way he played and such passion and energy. And you saw it on his face, there was no poser rock star stuff going on. It was just, he was, that's why I was so emotional that when he passed, and all of us were just really reflecting and revisiting all that he gave us. Just watching the Jump video, which I saw, when it was first out on MTV, just the joy of the feel of the music, and the band sounded great. It was a great vibe on stage, but it was the way he would smile and look at the camera, and just he'd be playing this incredible stuff. And you just thought, of course, it would be awesome to be that guy. He's having a great time, he's having such fun, and but it's really coming. The instrument was only a vessel. It wasn't an obstacle. You know what I mean? He was so connected because of all the time that he put into the instrument. It really was an extension of him, and not this cumbersome thing that's and it came with time. It came with time, it came with just lots of hours and lots of gigs,
Yeah, thank you, Andy. So let's get the show on the road. I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Before we get our secret guests.
I love that. You got secrets for me. This is awesome. Could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
Who knows who it is?
So the first one is this one. One of your most famous songs starts with a woman's voice calling you for dinner. I guess it was your mother, isn't
That's
it?
Mom.
So the 70s.
Yeah.
How was your musical youth, Andy? And how did you understand that music will have been your life, passion, and career?
Yeah. Well, that's that little cassette tape. As we were talking earlier, that what Thomas is referencing is the intro to Super 70s, which is the song. it was meant to be kind of a 1970s sounding, major 7 chords. And there was a little bit of Rush in there and odd time signature stuff. But we'd already recorded and finished that song, but I was going through a bag of cassettes that I had when I was a kid and just listening, for stuff. As I was hearing yourself talk when you're 10 years old is hysterical, We didn't have, and I have no video of or anything of me growing up, but I had this Sears cassette recorder, and that's how I would also record myself practicing. So I found 2 different snippets of tape. One was me writing a song, and I must have been 17 or 18, and I used to play through. I had a little record player in my room, a console that I could plug into one of the microphone inputs, and it would amplify the guitar, and I could turn up the headphones. It would distort the headphones. That was my sound, right? But I was playing, so that recording you. I could hear, and I remember at that time I was in a band and we were playing a lot, and I was writing tunes. So it was me kind of writing kind of a Todd Rundgren kind of song, and he did a lot of voicings that were like, a major chord, like A major over D, resolving to the 1 chord. And so that was part of it. So it was kind of the same song. It was me writing Super 70s 20 years before. You know what I mean? It just had that vibe to it. And there was another cassette where I was doing something, and Mom had come in to tell me it was time for dinner. I thought, oh my gosh, that'd be great to be the intro. Here's me writing the same song 20 years ago, but I couldn't find the snippet of tape with my mom on it. After, for whatever reason, it got lost in the bag of cassettes. Couldn't find it, so I had my mom call. This is when years before she passed. And I said, Mom, I need you to replicate what I had heard on this cassette. Can you just say over the phone, Andrew, time for dinner? And so she did that, right? And so we edited it on the beginning of the track to make it sound like, it was the way it was when I was a kid. And so the funny PS to that story was the record came out, and I sent Mom an advance burn CD of the record so she could hear herself on a CD. I thought it might be kind of fun for Mom, right? And so I sent it to her, and like a week goes by. I don't hear anything. Another week goes by. And I finally called my mom. I said, Mom, did you get that CD I sent you? And she goes, yeah. I said, well, what did you think? She said, well, you could barely hear it. She was like, she was bitching about the mix. I was like, she wasn't hot enough in the mixers. I was like, oh, dear. Anyway, so go figure where do I get my brain from, right? Anyway, but yeah, so I spent the time to tell the story only in that, my folks split when I was young, so I was raised by my mom, and I was very fortunate that she didn't mind that there was this, her teenage son had, every Kiss picture from every rock magazine pasted on the walls, and listening to all this heavy rock music and playing rock guitar, going to older boys' homes to play music, She trusted me, and she supported the fact that she could tell that music was my passion. And I knew by the age of 16, I knew this, it was going to be my life, because I was in a band from the time I was 13. And so I was in that band for 7 years. So that from 13 to 20, those are heavy years in your growth, right? And I was
even for relationship.
Yeah, and so it was I was really fortunate to get in with some older players, some more experienced guys, but they saw that I had talent and energy as a 13-year-old. I got in the band, and so I was always gigging, and I had a mom that just when it came time to. I wanted to find a guitar teacher when I was 16, because by then I was already realizing, well, I need to learn how to read music, because I was reading about Tommy Tedesco and Lukather and Carlton, the session guys, right? How can I be somebody like that? Thinking that I grew up in a small town in the Midwest, so making it in a rock band seemed like, just fairyland. It just seemed unattainable, right? But anyway, so that I was fortunate that I had the atmosphere at home to, like, whatever you want to do, just make your mind up. And go for it, and not every kid would have had that positive reinforcement. So I was very, very lucky, and so happy to get Mom documented on the record. It was kind of fun, but I did. I knew early on and pursued it with everything that I could. I just always voraciously anything that had to do with guitar. I wanted to learn how to do it. I wanted to, whether jazz or country or blues, still feel that way. There's just so much to try to get in your fingers,
Yeah, it's so nice when you have your mom or your dad, your parents that are supporters.
Yes, absolutely.
Your best supporters.
Yeah, and Dad was too. He just wasn't. He wasn't in the day-to-day peripheral, but he was also very, very proud and very supportive the further along I got. So, yeah, I was very, very, very blessed for sure.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, I guess I will do another question. Then I will bring you in the first secret guest.
Secret guest, yay!
Yeah, he's arrived already, and he has a very nice question for you.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you, how do you compose a new song from scratch? I mean, do you start from harmonic context, from a groove, from melody you have in mind?
Yeah.
How do you usually start?
It happens in every way you just mentioned. It could really come from anywhere. Most of the songs that I'm fondest of come kind of all together. Like when Eddie passed away, I'll have a guitar in my hands, or whatever is going on, and a melody will come. A lot of times now with harmony, I'm just kind of hearing it as it goes. Once I got into the resolution record and started approaching things as kind of a chord melody. I kind of started hearing my compositions kind of come to fruition in that way. Now, sometimes songs can come if I'm jamming with my band, or maybe a drum loop. I might hear, something that if I'm just practicing, I might recognize a riff or an idea that seems worth, exploring. And that's when I'll dig in a bit and always try to document it in some way. If I've got a software open, or, on my, everybody's got 100 voice memos of little riffs on their phone now, right? At least I do. And bags of cassettes since I was 16. So, but it's usually pretty recognizable when something presents itself that has something to it that I think should be developed. And so, it can be a melody first. I'm hearing melodies all day, and it's something I'm realizing other players do, but we haven't talked a lot about it. And there's two things that I've done my whole life that I didn't realize how important and beneficial it was to my musical being. Sorry, I have a little bit of allergy here, sniffling. In that, anytime there's any music going on, I'm participating in at least partially in some way, always rhythmically. If there's any kind of groove going on, it's going to move me. I'm going to want to nod along or get a groove going. If there's not music going on and I'm walking down the street, there's a groove happening inside my head. I've got some kind of clock happening, and I'll be subdividing probably, or clicking my teeth. It's happening either internally or externally. Along with that, there's always melody happening too. And again, some of these things were so subconscious that I didn't even really consider how beneficial they were. But if there's any kind of music going on, my favorite stuff to hear to participate with is the music that I'll hear in the clothing shop when I'm with my wife. Just like little moody keyboard chord progressions. It's this palette to create melodies. But even if it's a song, it could be a well-known song, but I might be singing a counter melody or humming along in some way. So throughout my life, and again, only recognizing this years later, but I was always improvising, melodies, and I was always participating with time. And that can only reinforce, even without the instrument in your hands, that's reinforcing, I'll call it the RLect. It's things in you collect the library of groove and melody in your head. Whatever you experience, all the songs that you learn, the songs that you hear, whatever moves you. So when it comes time for you to make your own music and play your instrument, it's that much more fortified. You've got more of an idea and more of a feel of what you want to come out. And then it's a matter of applying all that over time, with the instrument. So that was just kind of a very fortunate thing. Nobody told me to do it. Nobody said, hey, you should try this. I couldn't help it. It was just such an innate, a thing that it was an instinct in a way, a very, very subconscious.
Yeah, so you're saying also music and the way you compose, it's like the sum of everything you have and everything you are also.
Absolutely.
So even if you...
I talk a lot about it. There was that course I did for TrueFire called Melodic Muse. And I discuss, I try to get into where melody and where songs come from. And that's why I came up with that term RLect, because I really believe that, every song that we've learned or every piece of music that has moved us gets stored in a way. And when it's time for us to improvise a solo or write a song, I think we're just trying to live up to what's moved us in the past, Not saying you're trying to replicate a specific song or rip something off. That does happen accidentally and sometimes purposely, if people are being honest. There's been accidents in the past, like George Harrison accidentally ripping off "He's So Fine" by the Chiffons. The melody's just too close. It's just he obviously had it in the back of his mind, but didn't know he didn't write it. But the music kind of comes from a similar place, and I think you're being guided in a way. At least for me personally, that's what's happening. It's like somebody said that I have an antenna tuned to outer space somewhere. But it's really, it's not as mystical and magical as that. I think it's more specifically, the more connected you are with, again, the music that you've learned that you dig, that turns you on, whatever it is. It might just be the blues thing or a rock thing, or for me, the note over a chord that Brian Wilson chose, or Chopin, or whoever it might be. All those bits of things tend to want to have something of that quality, so it can only do you, well to learn those songs, whatever they may be, that you dig. People are always asking me, how can I include more melody in my playing? Well, it's very simple. Learn more melodies, don't learn, shred patterns all day. It's great to have that in your palette, and I like to hear that kind of energy coming from players. But yeah, you want to hear a melody, you want something recognizable that might touch you in a certain way, and to mix all that together, that's when I think that there's something, that's a lot more fun to listen to.
Yeah, there are many things trying to peel out from your conscience, from your mind every time you compose a new song. But even when you improvise, I see.
Sure.
Yeah, I've seen you live many times, and there's always new, fresh way you're trying to experiment, influenced also from other musicians, I guess.
Well, sure. It's the constant, whatever you're absorbing at the moment. For me, I go through many, like I think with a lot of players and artists, that we go through lots of different phases. Like the last few weeks, I've been listening to nothing but like kind of Tom Petty or Elvis Costello, or even the new Bruce Springsteen record.
Yes.
I love just a well stated lyric and a simple song is so powerful. Tom Petty's writing was so deep because he could say so much with such a minimum. There was nothing superfluous. There was no extra anything in the track or in the lyric, and that's where I want to be, in my music, whether I'm doing vocal tunes or instrumental music. Have everything mean something, not just a bunch of fluff, right? And so I'm always inspired by all kinds of artists like that. And of course, I listen to all the guitar players too, and always blown away and turned on every time you scroll through Instagram. It's like, damn, there's so many.
There are so many good players.
There's
now.
so many great players. So it's great that we're all inspiring each other and keep the fire going, man.
Yeah. Okay, Andy. So I will say, first of all, I want to say something for our friends, because Andy, tonight we will play 2, 3, 4 songs, I don't know, but sure. he made a very nice gift for us. He placed and organized 2 live shows on Stage It for this Saturday, after tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I will send you the links for this stage are already online. These are the concerts, the live concert you can attend to, you can see it. The quality is the same of this one, and it will be playing and this resolution. So it will be part 1 and part 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm sending you the links on Twitch and YouTube. So please just click it. The live stream will not be interrupted. Your browser will open a new page, so don't be afraid, and book it. Get a way to see that show. I've seen one of you live in May. Yeah, in May, if I remember correctly.
It's been going on since the end of March, yeah.
Yeah, when you did Ballads of Andy Timmons, that was the topic. It was amazing, really.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Really, guys, I suggest you to go check and get your time for Saturday. Would be amazing. You can find the links even in the YouTube description. So anytime you can get inside and see Andy Saturday live for you, and will be a very nice way to say thank you to Andy for this live show today. And okay, I guess I will bring you now the first secret guest.
Yay.
And then before he will do the question, maybe you can play another song if you like it.
Yeah, sure. Well, like I said, I've been working on my resolution tune, so I'll play a track from that record.
Nice one. Okay, I will bring now the guest, so you can say hello, and then he will enjoy the show from here inside. You ready? It's a very close friend. You have been in touch with him very long. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stefano Xotta.
Hey! Ciao Andy.
Ciao Sebo. What's up, Stefano? My Italian brother. How are you, man?
I'm fine, thank you. Very, very fine. I see you.
Welcome, Stefano. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you for inviting me, of course. I didn't want to miss Andy and having the opportunity to say hi live streaming.
Yeah, that's
great. It's a great honor. I see you're doing great.
We're hanging in there.
Tone-wise, you really look very healthy and happy.
Thank you.
That's great.
Well, yeah, I think I do need to get back to the gym once it's safe to get back. It's like I've got my COVID-15, you know. I need, but you're very kind. No, I feel fine. I feel like very fortunate to still be doing what I do and what I love, man. So yeah. But I hope you're doing good, Sebo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have good news to tell you separately when we're
okay.
Something
no, please go ahead and tell it now.
Share with the whole family.
Publicly. Okay. Yeah, you need to share it. It's a very good news.
After many years, I restarted working with Oshino. So we have a new opportunity to work together again.
That's great news. Welcome back to the family. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's
I'm really
great.
excited about that. You know that in Europe, Oshino is doing a new thing. You know, they're going direct in many countries. So I'm excited working with them again, and also because I can restart working closely with many friends.
I'm sure. Yeah, you know everybody already.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, Seba. All right, man.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, man. Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I know Stefano has a very cool question for you, but let's do it after.
Oh, we're gonna play a track. Okay. Well, I'll dedicate this to Sebo. This might have been when he and I first started. Or was that the first tour we did was in 2005?
Yes.
Sebo?
Yes.
Well, this might have been right around. This was probably around the time that I was just about to release this track, so we were probably listening to it in the car and probably at the gig. But it's an old one from Resolution called "Deliver Us." Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, mate.
Yikes. All right.
Yeah,
amazing,
you are amazing.
Andy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Ziggs said, sincerely, your music helps us out so much during this bad period. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Hey, and that's what music always does for us, you know. It's always there to help us.
Edol Lonardi said, tonight, apart from the guitarists, painters and artists in general should also watch the episode because Andy waves notes on the guitar fingerboard.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
Amudi
kind,
Safa said, if I had to explain to an alien what perfection is, I'd play Andy Timmons.
Oh, man. Not necessarily that performance just now, but yeah. Well, I'm going for it. Yeah, you know. And it's funny. It's like I know that most people expect me to play the wah-wah solo in the middle, but I can't play wah-wah sitting down. It's a weird angle, right? It's like really hard to get it right. I was like, oh, I'm sitting down. I can't.
Yeah, you need to put the weight on the foot.
Yeah, you got to stand up and get the thing. But I'm sure there's some guys that play amazing wah sitting down. I thought, well, I'll have to skip that today.
It's so nice, Andy. There are about hundreds of comments. I'm picking you some one time to time, but there are so many famous Italian guitarists looking at this live show and saying hello. There is a message now from Marco Sfogli. I guess you know him.
I know Marco.
Yeah.
Hey, Marco.
They are all here to meet you, even with the distance, even I'm now honored. That we cannot meet together in a NAMM show and any other fair, you know.
It's sad. I hope to come back to Italy sometime. Maybe next year. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully things will get better. We'll get the vaccine going. They're working on that. And I miss everybody. It's been nice being home. I can't not say that because I love being with my family. But that's part of our life is playing, in a room with people. It's not this. This is great, but it's not quite the same interaction,
Yeah,
right.
Indeed. Yeah, it's better than nothing. I cannot figure out how it could have been without this kind of instruments.
It would have been
10 years ago,
It would have been a lot more unhealthy.
Worse.
I really think so. I think, again, for me, like since the pandemic, I've done over 60 shows on stage. And so every week that gave me the ability to, have a show to kind of look forward to, but then also the community of people. And there's a lot of people that have come to every one of those shows that are part of that. It's a cool hang because I play and it's pretty much looks exactly like what I'm doing now, except I do stand for those. But there's a chat board and all the people are, they've gotten to know each other. So all these friendships have developed. And especially early on when nobody was going anywhere, it was the only way to really interact aside from calling your friends or whatever. So really
cannot see all the comments now, but all the people are chatting from YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. They are talking to each other and commenting together.
And it's beautiful,
very nice.
and that's what that's part of what music is. It can be a very personal, kind of a solitary thing in your own private home, but it can also be that community and that we have at concerts, and it's like church because it's like It's a room full of people that are there for the same reason, and it's a very positive reason. It's like they're all there to celebrate their artist or their musician or whoever they dig, and it's a great energy to have. So now we have to find it online, but it's still cool. It's still, like I say, people are getting to they all have the same interest. Theoretically, coming to this place where we are right now. And it's a beautiful thing, and so that's what it's been great to do all these gigs on the Saturdays because. I'm part of this thing. It's like, and it's I'm there and I'm playing, but they're having a great time hanging without me. It's like I'm just the facilitator, but they're chatting about all kinds of shit over there. But it's great. It's like it's the only gig I never get offended. Like if you're in a quiet jazz pub and everybody's talking, you're like, oh come on, man, I'm trying to play. I'm the artist. But in that regard, it's like we're together and everybody's enjoying it. So that's the main thing. Yeah.
Okay. Stefano,
the funny thing is when you get done playing, you don't hear any. People are typing applause. It's the word. So you got. That's the only weird thing you got to get used to. But hey, Marco,
at least there are the
hey,
emotes now. Yeah. At least there are the emotes now, so you can show at least a face with a funny smile and applause. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, Sebo, are you ready with your question? I guess it will be really interesting.
Yeah, first I wanted to say one thing, because while Andy, you were playing that song, I was actually reminding and remembering when we first met, and you in that tour in 2005, you actually played many songs from Resolution.
I did,
even though the album wasn't released yet.
It didn't come out till 2006, right?
Yeah. But you played many songs, and actually you told me that was your very first album where you were playing just one guitar track, no overdubs.
That's right.
So it was challenging for you. It was a different tone.
It was a new way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Then when you played the Beatles album, you weren't the composer, but you have to rearrange that. So you had to think about many new voicings and solutions.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, and I actually found a few of those solutions in the next album again.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
it's like witnessing your all the changes in your style since you started challenging yourself using just one guitar. I mean, in the last album you have more guitars in some songs.
Yeah.
But I feel some harmonic solution from the Beatles rearranging period.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating looking that you're still, of course, changing your style. You're evolving every day, and that's so great, you know.
Well, thank you. That was the healthy thing, though it nearly killed me. That was the healthy thing about Resolution, was when we'd done the basic recordings. I've told the story a lot, but I'd played some rhythm and some lead, and I just wasn't. I was kind of tired of the genre, and I didn't like how I sounded, And it was what Vi had said when I handed in the tracks for the previous record for That Was Then This Is Now. There was a song called Falling Down, and he liked, because it was mainly one guitar throughout most of the record. So it was just the suggestion from Steve of like, I really like when it's just the one guitar, I can hear the fingers on the frets, and that's what clicked in after letting Resolution. It sat for a couple of years of just me not being inspired. Then I thought, well, what if I could do the whole record like that? Steve dug that. Let me dig that out and see what I can do. And so then I had to recreate how I played the melodies, and I also gave myself the permission to learn the solos that I improvised, but then kind of correct and change what I didn't like, because it was again, I was drawing upon things that I'd already played, and I was improvising, but again, it felt stale to me. So I gave myself the permission to compose in the sections that I didn't like, compose the solo. What's wrong with that? It's there was a bit of a jazz or session player mentality I'd grown up with, thinking that it's always got to be fresh and live and improvised, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of material on my early records that are exactly that. But I wasn't ever happy listening back to it. It was like, oh man, I wish I would. So I finally, as I was reinventing how I was going to play chords and melody, why not just be happy with every single note? So I gave myself the permission on that record to do that, and it's 90% through composed, right? But I couldn't have done the Sgt. Pepper record had I not done that record, because I treated the Pepper record the same way, where I did it without overdubs. So I had to replicate the arrangements of the songs, everything, try to figure out how I can really represent the song in the most faithful way, without it being muddy. The more voices you include on with a distorted guitar tone, the tougher it gets to get some of that going with it. Oh, sorry. Where's the melody in that? So a lot of times it ended up being just thirds voiced with roots and maybe some power chords, depending on what I thought I could kind of flesh out and get away with. But I also, doing it mostly from memory, it's kind of whatever was at the forefront of my memory of the song. It could be the vocal, it could be a guitar, it could be a sound effect or the strings, So that was the challenge, and it was fun. But some of it, was like. like I was, plugging in some of the jazz chord melody things that I learned from, Joe Pass. It's the same. It's the same thing where you're just trying to support the melody the best way you can, and then sonically, you make some adjustments along the way. And as Saba was saying, then the most recent Andy Timmons band record called "Theme from a Perfect World," I wrote all the songs because at that point I was really on my path of, playing things with just solo guitar and bass and drums. But at that point, okay, we had done Resolution, we'd done Pepper. Why not now? Oh, yeah, let's have a bit of piano, have a bit of. We kind of gave ourselves the key to the toy chest again. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, but that became challenging too because we hadn't done it in so long. Oh, here's rhythm guitar parts. I hadn't really approached things in that way. But so it's so important though to do that. It's so important to change things along the way to keep it fresh. Because if it's not interesting to you, it's not going to be interesting to the listener. It's got to be fresh and challenging to you. And both the Resolution and the Pepper records were really. I took a lot of time, figuring out how to play those things properly and really, really voice it well, get the right sounds. So, I can be proud of that, but it was not easy. But that's what it should be. It should, there'll be records that I'll put out. And I have a couple records coming out early next year. One with the Bissonette.
Nice one.
Yeah, with Greg and Matt Bissonette and
cool.
I, and have a record. The band's called the Redcoats. It's kind of a plain, it's like the Yellow Jackets, but with an English influence. Yeah. So, but yes, it's Greg and Matt, myself, Wally Minko on keyboards, and Mike Medina on percussion, and he's the engineer doing the mixing. And it's like a funk fusion pop crazy record with lots of solos. Everything for that was done very improvised and just a few takes but it's got that feel to it, right? But then there's another record that I did with the great Josh Smith, great friend of mine, great blues player.
Wow.
Well, he's an all-around great player, but he's got a great studio at his house, and we'd met a couple years ago. He said, "Yeah, you should come out to my studio and make a record." And I'm like, "Great," And so it gave me, kind of something to do outside of my normal, Andy Timmons band thing. And I said, "Well, I'll write some songs." And he said he wanted to write some songs, and we'd write some songs together. And I said, "Well, you put the band together, just you pick the players, you produce it, and I'll come in, and I'm just the artist and come in." And so we did this record, and it's I got 3 tracks to finish here in my studio, but it'll be out in March. And it's a lot of fun, man. It's a great rhythm section. It's Travis Carlton on bass and Lamar Carter on drums and great keyboard. So anyways, that's gonna be a fun project. But I'm also working on new Andy Timmons band stuff along the way as well. But got to find the right path to where I feel the most inspired. But those projects were kind of easy because it was a little outside of. Yeah, I got to.
Do you believe we're going to see these new projects coming in the upcoming year?
Yeah, for sure. The Red Coach record is finished, and there's a couple of videos you can find online already. Just type in REDDCOATS. Yeah, okay. Matt and Greg are just one of the great rhythm sections of all time. Great players and great guys.
Cool.
Love hanging with them, and they're all big Beatle fans, so we get along just great. And the way Matt and there's vocal tunes too, so Matt writes in a very kind of Beatle-y way. So there's a great pop kind of influence, but a lot of great Latin and funk and fusion kind of stuff going on too. It's guys that enjoy playing a lot of different styles, having a blast, and that's the way the record sounds. Yeah.
Having a blast.
So I think that'll come out first, and then the record I talked about recording at Josh's studio, that's called Electric Truth, and that'll come out. I think middle of March. I'm going to release it. So excited about both of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of new music.
A lot of new. 2021's gonna be a big year. Yeah, because I haven't been releasing enough music, so I'm gonna change that. So 2 really great records already done, ready to come out. So. And then some more ATV stuff to come along the way. So.
Well, can't wait.
Yeah,
can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
My original question was that.
Okay.
I remember you told me that the reason why you asked Ibanez to have the guitar painted like that, with that specs, was because you were inspired by Eric Johnson's 54 Strat.
Very much so. Very much so.
I can say that nowadays that guitar looks even more iconic than Eric's guitar, because I mean, the neck is even more worn.
It's got some wear. It's got some wear. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it means something that you're still using that particular single unique instrument still nowadays. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of 80, 100 guitars around the world, but you're still using that one made in 1994.
It's pretty amazing, and I very proudly can say that I've tried lots of other AT100s that people bring to me, either to sign or just to check out. And a lot of them, actually, I might even like better than this, but it's, this one's got the miles and the connection, you know what I mean? It's just, it's the original one, so it has a particular feel. There's a recent guitar that Ibanez made for me. Have you guys heard of the Evertune tuning system? It's a bridge.
Yes, of course.
You can install on the guitar. So Matt Blackett, who's a friend of mine,
it's an amazing tune.
It's a really cool thing, But Ibanez sent me just a factory AT100, and the neck on that particular, I mean, every little guitar is a little different, right? But that one's like, that's my favorite neck that I have in the whole house. And that's incredible. And the Evertune thing I've been checking out, and it's really pretty miraculous what it does,
Yeah,
that's been a lot of fun to check
especially for you. You're a chord guy, and you're very demanding on guitar tuning. I know.
But it's so there's pluses and minuses. I'll leave it at that. I think in certain applications it would be great. So, but it's one of those things where I've spent a life getting this right, and any change, it can correct some things, but then it gets in the way of other things. So, but I know it's going to be a tool that I'll use in certain situations. So it's very cool.
Yeah. But coming back to your guitar, well, you were inspired by that original 54 Strat.
Yeah.
But actually, I know you're very demanding in your gear, because every single specs, tuning, regulation, pedals you're using is specific, and you notice when something changes.
Yeah, of course.
And actually, that guitar features some values and specs that are unique, I guess, because when I grab an Andy Timmons guitar, I immediately feel that 40.5 nut size is really unusual. Yeah. So I was asking, why did you choose these specs, like the bridge, that you always want that bridge on all your signature guitars, and that measures which instrument did inspire you that you tried and you decided to replicate on your signature guitar?
That's a great question. And it's kind of just a lot of it, you make it sound like this evil mad scientist, a lot of it's happy accident, I got to be honest. I mean, the neck, when I first joined Ibanez, it was 1991, and they, said to me, we want to build your ultimate guitar. What is that? And I really had no idea. So we just went through a process of me trying out a variety of their guitars. Mace Bailey made me a couple of things like in the RG body shape, but we tried humbuckers bolted into the body. That's the black guitar with the purple pickups that I still have. And so we just went through this process. But Kramer, who was the company that I endorsed before Ibanez, had gone out of business very oddly at that time. But they had made a parts Stratocaster copy for me, and it was either Warmoth or Chandler parts. I don't even know what it was. But that particular neck had this shape and that nut width, and I said, that's the one that feels most comfortable to me. Can you make me something with this neck shape? And I sent them that guitar. They copied the neck, and that's what led to this. And so I did want a tobacco burst because I love that classic old vintagey look, right? And the bridge was a happy accident, as well as the DiMarzio Cruiser pickups, and it was just what was recommended by my friend Bill Comiskey, who was working with Ibanez at the time. He's no longer with them. But he said, you got to check out this bridge. It's a Fender-style bridge, but it's a beefier tone. I said, it sounds like exactly what I'm looking for. I was getting away from the floating trims and all that. I wanted more stability, but I like the vintage, ethos, but it was a little thin, right? So this Trev Wilkinson had invented this bridge. Godo makes it now, and just totally fit the bill for what I was looking for. And the Cruisers were, again, it was just a recommendation, and I just kind of developed my sound around it, and it just worked, And originally I had a Seymour Duncan Jeff Beck in the bridge, but when we did the AT300, this guitar here, Steve Blucher had designed a humbucker that's called the AT1, and this is a true story. I was going to Bozeman, Montana, for a clinic for Mesa Boogie. And that's where Larry DiMarzio is based now. No longer in New York, but he lives in Bozeman. And I was like, oh, wow, it's going to be weird for me to go play I'm a DiMarzio guy, but I still got that Seymour Duncan in there. Honest to God, the pickup died like 2 days before I made the trip. I went, well, because I had this great sounding humbucker, but I was superstitious. The original guitar with that pickup, that's just the way it was. And so, I had my guy quickly put in a DiMarzio AT1. Fortunately, I liked it better. I was like,
okay.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. But obviously, that's that's where we started with Steve Blucher with DiMarzio. It's like, well, this is the sound I like. Here's what I would change about it if I could tweak these things. And we talked about things in the high and low end, and it just worked out. So yeah, it happily was swapped out right when it died. So anyway, but yeah, so all these things, some of it are specific to things that I've been, in the pursuit of, or it just could be something that's happened a certain way. I go, okay, I dig that. And the treble bleed mod that I always want included on all my guitars.
Yeah.
That was just a recommendation from my luthier at the time, a guy named Sam Swank. Said you should try this. I think you'd get a lot out of the ability to maintain your treble as you decrease the volume. And I live a lot in some of the more delicate things, it's really reliant on having a certain gain tone, but then being able to back that down, but retain the high end. But I'm also, once I find something that works, I tend to stick with it. It's like, but that being said, I do own too many guitars, and they all have a song in them, and they all have different flavors. And for recording and session work and stuff, I have a nice old Telly and a Strat and Rickenbacker and Gretsch and all these things. But when it comes to my own voice, this guitar is just really suited, the bill for what I need to create, cover a wide variety of terrain, at any time.
Yeah. Okay, Andy.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Stefano, for your question.
Thanks, Stefano. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, very cool.
Good to see you too.
Ciao, brother.
See you soon, I hope.
I hope so too, Hoshino, brother.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, goodbye, Stefano. Thanks a lot for being here.
Right.
Ciao.
Goodbye. Okay, Andy.
Yeah, man.
Then let's talk about sound.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You are one of the most iconic guitarists out there, and your tone is always extremely recognizable.
Oh, wow.
Could you give us some hints about how to develop a unique and personal sound, and of course, how you did that?
We could talk a lot about this, but the simple answer is I have no idea. it's like
nice one.
But I could be very general, but also very specific. But so much of it for me has certainly developed naturally over time. Some of the pursuits would be specific, but some of the pursuits were just that they happened with a lot of playing. And this will I'll also reference something I said earlier about, the tone that we're trying to achieve is driven by that R-elect that I talk about. It's what is our perception of what is a great sound, So for me, especially around resolution, when I really started tone questing, and Mike Dane and I holed up in his studio and would take weeks sometimes trying to find the right sound for each track, on that record. You have a benchmark. For me, it would be Eric Johnson, of course, in the variety of tones that he, spent so many years fine-tuning. But also, obviously, all the classic guys like Hendrix and Stevie Ray. And there's some along the way that, we all find our favorites. And I think along the way, we're trying to emulate our favorite tones, right? And it's still the same for me. I think, whatever the sound that's in my head, it's usually influenced, at least indirectly by our heroes, right? And then, that part of your ear is what's going to guide you when you play and you plug into whatever gear you have, and then trying to dial in the specific thing. Like what I'm going through now is my basic kind of, I would call it a clean sound, but full on it's pretty gained up, but that's all that is it's a Carl Martin compressor being hit in the front with an RC booster, which is an exotic pedal. The compressor not really compressing, it's mainly set. If I just here's just the compressor on. Here's the compressor off. So this is straight Lone Star. Now, so what you're hearing when the pedal's on is not compression, but a lot of gain. If the compression's happening, it's happening by hitting the front of that preamp that hard, and it's hitting it hard. So, but then the way I'm using the RC largely is, now this is the clean channel of the Lone Star with the bass turned off. And that's still a pretty woolly sound. So if I hit the front end with the RC, I've got the bass off on the RC as well. So I'm using it as a little bit of a top end sparkle and a boost, but also a low cut. And that's kind of replicating what I used to do with the Boss Blues Driver. I used to use that Keeley modded Boss Blues Driver. But that, again, there was so much low end and I couldn't filter it out. So there's a tone in my head, and with the gear that I'm using, I'll figure out ways of achieving exactly what that is. And it goes for every different kind of tone. Now for my lead sound, it's also... I'm using, I have a signature JHS pedal called the AT, or the AT signed. Again, I'm just hitting the front end of, that's all that's happening on the Lone Star. It's a very neutral, clean platform, but if I turn on the JHS, that's the beauty of that pedal, is I can literally, obviously I like it best in front of this old Lone Star that I've been using for so long, but I can take it and put it in front of almost any amp, and it's got such a fine-tunable presence and treble that I'm going to find my sound. So it's such a deep question you're asking, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to traverse the entire terrain of what that is. But there's nothing that
many specific things.
There's nothing that everything that needs to happen is happening here. That's just either going to help it or hinder it and make it harder. But it's all about your ear and the connection with the string. And my technique tends to be a little heavy-handed. I'm not a light. I'm getting a
light toucher. You're not.
I'm not. I mean, it can be a light touch when necessary, but there's a lot of tone for the more rock stuff. It's I'm striking the string pretty hard. The ability to really lighten up. And so there's so much tone that comes from just the dynamic of your connection with the string.
So you're saying it's like a chain, and every ring has to be very strong, from the ends to the strings and then pedals and amps.
It's all that, but it really first and foremost starts here. And how has this developed? Time. That relationship with your connection with the string, be it your finger or pick or whatever it is, and the tone that your finger's producing here, that's... All these things are helpful in enhancing, but it's, there's so much that's really happening naturally acoustically. This can only amplify and enhance in its own way, right? And some things, are more neutral, and some things are very coloring, depending on the sound you're going for. but that's, I mean, really the ballpark answer would be that, yes, all these things help. And for sure, we love spending our times on the forums and researching the right pedal. Oh my God. And the money we spend on all these things, and that's part of the joy. It's like, well, if I get that, then I'll sound really great. That's exactly what
I've already received 2 or 3 messages on my phone saying, "Oh my God, that Monster! I'm going to buy it tonight."
Well, okay, so yeah, there's so many things that, but I'd be able to get these sounds with some other amps too, But the main thing is it's the relationship, and we could spend less time buying things and reading about things. We got to spend the time. There's as so many have said, there's no shortcuts. There's things that are helpful, no doubt about it. And yes, we want to know what our favorite guy's using. Man, I'm no different. I'm up there to Jeff Beck's show, looking at the pedal board or EJ or whoever it is. I mean, that's
yeah. We'll ask you about gear later. Yeah.
Yeah, but for sure. I mean, that's there's so much that comes with that. But we all know that. Okay, that's helping. But man, it's that guy's. It starts with the ear and the fingers. It's what are they going for? It's not just necessarily letting the gear dictate it. It starts here before it ever gets to the gear, right? You have to have an idea of what it is you're going for, and then your fingers learn. Your fingers really do learn over time how to get some of that sound to a certain point, and then again, you have to spend some time with the.
Yeah, Andy, what kind of pick do you use usually?
It is not the best sounding pick, but it's the most consistent part of my signal chain that I have right now, and I've used this pick since 1983 or 84, something like that. It's a Jim Dunlop Jazz 3 Tortex. So it's small and pointy, and if you can do a sonic test with picks, you can have a flat surface, hard surface, and drop the pick, and you'll hear the tone of the pick. I can't really demonstrate it well now. I don't have the proper surface. But if you drop like a nylon pick or a celluloid Tortex, whatever it is, they're all going to have a different sound, and then the size of the pick matters. I love using a Fender Extra Heavy. It's just got a beefy tone to it. But I spent so many formative years playing with this small pick with a point that my groove is best with this pick, and over time it just has become part of my sound. It's no doubt. If I let's see what I have here within grabbing distance, I have a couple of these are mediums. These are my acoustic picks. But if I were to play, now that's a great Hendrixy pick. But if I play that same thing, you hear the tone change. A lot more top with whatever that's made out of. Classic Fender style. But I probably couldn't solo very well with that pick. I really would be more comfortable with the. Even though I might be sacrificing a bit sonically, it's like, okay, these are the decisions along the way. You find what sounds good and what feels good, and sometimes it's a compromise between the two. But again, I've been using it since 1984, I think. So the most consistent part.
So
of my
it's part
chain.
of your main sound.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
this absolutely, and I'm using for lead phrasing. Here in my right channel, I've got the tone crug on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I think I got a speaker about to go. Anyway, you're hearing the tip of my finger and a little bit of nail and the pick at the same time. That's why this fingernail is always very, very worn and gnarly.
You're consumed.
Yeah. After a gig, my finger will be all black from just whatever's wearing off the string, So, but that's all part of the tone, and it's not something I purposely set out to make my technique. It just kind of evolved over time. There was a lot less didactic material for me growing up. I had a record player in my ears and a guitar, and But then the first instructional thing I ever had was a Steve Morse cassette tape. You know, I think the
Yeah,
company
I remember
was
that.
called Homespun or something like that, maybe, or it was before Hot Licks videos even. You know, we just had a cassette tape, and it was, you know, so. But I realized how fortunate I was because it was really all about the ear, you know, and finding it. You know, it's a bit easier now these days. Maybe a little too easy in some cases. Some of those things aren't being
with many digital amps.
Digital amps and digital education.
Digital content, yes.
Digital content as far as here's exactly how to do this. So people are missing the ability to develop the RLect and that connection of ear and an application as opposed to eye. It internalizes in a different way, right? You know, you learn different visually than you do orally.
Yeah, I guess this is very important what you're saying, that we have much more than before now. I remember in my youth, about 25 years ago, 30 years ago, it was really hard to find contents and always with video cassette from United States, and then you need to change the Secam and PAL.
NTSC and PAL,
NTNC, It was very, very hard, and we spent days and months on a single cassette. Now you can see thousands of videos on YouTube.
The world is in your back. It's in your back pocket. You know. It's like, it's
I guess you lose some of the magic we had long ago.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just the advice I have for younger players and people growing up now. I use the internet all the time, and I learn things in that way. When I was trying to figure out a better way to play Eruption, I watched Pete Thorne has a great tutorial on that he did back in 2008 or something, and he dug deep. You know, he was investigating all the tricks and all the stuff. So I had a loosely bastardized version, but so it can be very helpful. But you got to do the work before that. You got to get as much as you can through the ears on your own, because that's what's going to develop your abilities and your instincts to create your own music eventually. If that's not your goal, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, but for those that are really wanting to create their own voice, that's the strongest thing you can do is the ear training, and that having that relationship between your ear and your hands, not your eye. You know, that this is part of it. We visualize as we play, no doubt. That's part of it, but it's really the ear part that's gonna guide you in a more musical way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Andy, for this answer.
Yeah, man.
So I'm going to introduce our second secret guest now.
All right.
And he has a very nice question for you.
Cool.
He's a very close friend of you, of course.
Right.
And then before he will give you the question again, he will ask you the question again. We may choose one of another song to play if you want.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I've got on my playlist here.
Yeah,
let me see.
Give it a check. You can also pick maybe 2 or 3, and we can ask Twitch players to choose with a poll. It's a very funny way to interact with them.
Let's do that. Okay, I have "Cry for You." I could do. I got to practice some of these. I should have put more songs on. I could do "Gone," or "Helipad." Helipad, "Cry for You," or "Gone." That's your 3 choices.
Okay. Timmons, Helipad. Let's see. Okay, guys, if you are on Twitch, you can vote for this poll in a second. You will find in the top right corner of the chat. You just click there and you can vote. Just give me a second. What song you want to listen now? So it's "Cry for You," "Gone," and "Helipad," isn't it?
Helipad, yeah, yep.
Go on. Okay. Andy Timmons.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. Okay. I'm ready. Yeah, just a second. It's very funny to do this kind of things. Okay, guys, you have 2 minutes to vote from now. Just put your finger on the top and vote your favorite song, and let's see who wins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you cannot vote from Facebook or YouTube. This kind of features comes only from Twitch. Okay. So in the meantime, while people are voting, I will introduce our friend. It's a real close friend for me, and it's a fantastic guitar player. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ciromanna.
Hey, Ciro.
Hey, Andy. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Caserta in the house.
Yeah.
How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Good
And
to
you?
see you. I'm doing great, man.
Doing
great. Hanging in there, trying to play, man. You know.
Trying to play.
Trying to play. You know,
like a godlike mode.
Trying to keep it going, man. But yeah, happy to be with you, brother.
Yeah. I'm good.
How's your family, Mena and the kids? Everybody good?
Yeah, 2 kids. You know.
How big are they now? What
they're
age?
Growing, and so 2 years ago, 2 years old. Sorry,
Okay.
Sarah, and 6 years old Gaia.
Is 6 already. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, my son is 16, and he's already like 2 inches taller than me.
Oh,
He's a big guy. He's a tall guy, man. Must have been all that mac and cheese, you know.
okay.
Yeah.
And he has still the passion for rocks. I remember.
Yeah, he collected rocks for a bit, but now he's 16, so it's all cars and video games, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's actually he goes to school. He's doing online school right now, but then in the afternoons he works at a vintage car restoration shop. Yeah, so he loves the vintage cars and stuff, so he's working doing that.
Ciro, get closer to your microphone. You are just a bit quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, Ciro, I guess you have something to show to Andy also before to ask, you know?
Yeah, he's going to give me guitar lessons. He's going to teach me how to play.
Yeah.
I could learn a
You
lot
want
from
to
Ciro.
joke?
No.
And I have just a question about this guitar.
Hey, look what you got. He stole my guitar. Wow.
Just one easy
You just
question.
duplicated through.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I cut this piece,
Yeah.
can I play like you?
Oh, absolutely. That is the secret, because there's too much mass in that little point. If you take the point off, I've had so many people offer to make me like, oh, what is wrong with your pickguard? I'll make you a new one. It's like, no. It's like, why would I want to fix
It's
it?
perfect.
It's just it's like, you know, it's just natural aging, you know.
Okay. Also
That's-
this.
Yeah, you know what? You have to take that off. Yeah, it's.
Okay. Sure. I'll do it.
I just always left it off because I was too lazy to put it back on once I changed the springs. I was like, I think they.
By the way,
yeah.
By the way, Andy, the poll is ended, and we have like a Bulgarian election with a 79% cry for you. You know,
79%. Wow.
Oh.
All right.
it's like a Putin election in Russia.
Hey, we're not talking about elections here. No, thank you.
No, of course we don't.
No. It's
Okay,
all good.
then let's give it a go, and then
Yeah.
Ciro will ask you the question later. Okay,
great.
Thanks,
All
guys, for voting. Thanks, guys, for
Pay
voting.
attention to
Let's see.
the tipless sound here. Yeah.
Cry for you, Andy Timmons.
That was the disco version.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I decided. You see?
All right, man. Now you could sell the tip on eBay.
Yeah, tape.
Oh, you crazy
awesome,
guys.
Oh,
I covered it with tape.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Black tape.
Clever. It's like blacking out the tooth. Nicely done.
Absolutely amazing.
Man.
Thank you, guys.
The comments are blowing up, Andy. Really.
Well, thank you. Thank you. 79%. That's. I've been playing that song forever, but it's got the same energy every time. The melodies are different, and try to just inject whatever I'm feeling at the time. But so it's a fun one to play, and. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's a great gift you're giving us tonight, and
happy to be with
there
you
are
guys.
850 people online at the moment.
Wow,
at the moment
guys.
now.
Thank you.
So there are many hundreds of comments. People really crying. You're like,
I was out of tune. I think that's because I was out of tune. Yeah, I was out of tune.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he tune? No.
If I can think in a guitarist in the world that cannot be out of tune, it's you, really.
Oh, no.
You even said your favorite stomp is the tuner,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's one of those things where the guitar is a very imperfect instrument. So, you spend a lot of time trying to get things right. And I always admired so much, Eric Johnson specifically, and Joe Satriani, Tommy Emmanuel. That's something Tommy Emmanuel said to me, is like, that's what really separates the men from the boys, so to speak, or the women from the girls is tuning. It's really the most difficult part to really get well on the guitar. It's hard to do, vibrato and bending and just the imperfection of the guitar itself. It's a real challenge. And I had the wonderful opportunity once Tommy Emmanuel was playing here in Dallas. He invited me to come to sound check. And he saw me kind of waiting on the side of the stage while he was playing. He says, "Andy, come here, mate, come here." This wonderful Australian. I go, stand right here, mate. That's the worst Tommy Emmanuel impression. But he wanted me to hear what he was hearing, the monitors and his guitar. It was the most glorious tone I've ever heard. But I was standing there watching him play, and just everything was so perfectly in tune. And I said, "You've got auto-tune in your fingers, man. You do. You've got." And there's some truth to that. He says, "Well, you've got it too, mate." And there's ways over time that we find, when there is imperfection within a chord or in a note, you find ways of adjusting, and kind of wiggling things a certain way. I know Chiro knows this, and it's something that's another thing that kind of develops over time. You start to have an instinct about where those things are occurring, and trying to battle that and get it together. But so I take your compliment. I'm appreciative, but it's like, boy, it's the struggle.
Yeah,
the struggle is real. It's it's always trying to get things.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sweet.
Also the sound that can be listened from here in streaming, guys. It's like looking at you in live stream. I mean, live in a venue.
Thank you, man. Well,
I can feel the pressure of the the speakers here.
All right, good. Well, we were. I've had help. I'm really blessed that my friend Robert Wexler, who is a recording engineer I've worked with since 1988. We first met. He lives 2 doors down from me, so he helps me with technology and trying to get, I spend the time with my tone and everything, but it's a matter of just getting it mixed right into the preamp and, to you guys. So that's been another thing that I've enjoyed working on for these live streams, is just getting the audio as good as it can be, not just streaming over your iPhone speaker or something. It's like, nobody wants.
I was wondering what kind of volume do you have inside that room at the moment?
What kind of what?
Volume.
Of level. Yeah, volume.
Okay, so the beauty is this is the upstairs of my home. So this is like a recreation room, and there's a spare bedroom next door to me. So it's basically my amp cabinets are in the next room, and they're really loud. I've got 2 Lone Stars on, about a third of the way up, So if I were to open the door, you would hear a much different sound. It's very well it's very well isolated. There's lots of insulation. It's a heavy door. So and I have very fortunate. I have a family that puts up with the noise, because it's not so quiet downstairs. But anyway, so I get the sound that I would have either live or for a recording session. It's no different, and that's what I broadcast every weekend. That's what I'm doing with you guys. Just getting a couple of 57s on two Mesa Boogie rectifier 212 cabs, and there it is. Obviously there's ways now with speaker emulators and such, and those are the technology is amazing. There's so many ways.
Yeah, it's very nice now.
Of getting some nice things, and it's much easier in some ways to do that. But I still like the organic thing. If I have the ability, which I do, then why not do it that way? Yeah.
Yeah, if you can, just do it.
Why not? I mean, there's something about that air moving, and they can replicate it, but there's something about the real deal. So why not?
Yeah, you need something to move your ears when you play.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very much. So.
I don't have it anymore, so I'm.
But no, I saw them standing up though. I saw them. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So Ciro, do you want to ask your question now for Andy?
Yeah, it's a simple question.
Sure.
I'd like to know what are you studying now?
Starting or studying?
Yeah, music. Yeah,
studying.
Yeah.
Oh, studying. It's there's always a process with me with jazz that
Okay.
That's my normal practice routine every morning. So I'll put on a. I wish I had it on my computer here. Do I? Let me see here.
Backing
I have
tracks,
the iReal book.
iReal book. Yeah.
Yeah,
iReal B.
Let's see. I don't want to take too much time if I can't find it. Ah, shit. I don't know why this isn't working. There we go. So my routine every day is I'll get up, of course, coffee first.
Okay.
And then I'll do
We have the same.
Yeah, and then I'll put on.
We have the same attitude.
I'll sit there for an hour and just do this. It gets my fingers going, and then you're navigating whatever the changes are. But that was all the things you are navigating the changes of the standards. So I'm not doing nearly enough ear training like I profess to others to do, but I do love to learn songs. In fact, the most recent song I learned, I'll share with you. There's a great Elvis Costello, Burt Bacharach collaboration that happened in the mid '90s. And there was a movie called Grace of My Heart, and it was about brill building New York City songwriters in the '60s, and like Carole King and stuff like. So the movie was based loosely on Carole King's life. Oops, Cry for You took care of my tuning. Hold
Yeah,
it's the ending dive. That's why it's always the last song, because I do that dive bomb at the end. It doesn't recover sometimes. But there was this song that
you can get Ciro's guitar,
I could get my backup guitar.
Please.
So there's this song that they wrote that was very much a '60s sounding song, and the melody at the beginning is a. That already is a gorgeous melody. It goes to that F natural over that G minor. Got the 9 on top. And then E natural to D major. It's gorgeous. But check out this first melody. So it goes. Very simple, all from the scale, all from B minor, but now I have nothing but God, give me strength. Just learning something simple like that just gave me this whole another part of my RLEC now. whatever practice in the morning. If I can learn a melody or a lick or something, that's kind of it. And just this constantly listening to music that excites me. And it could be something new, as I said early in the program, just listening to straight ahead pop stuff lately and finding the beauty in there, sometimes melodic, sometimes lyrical. So next week it'll be something completely different. Who knows?
And there is something specific on the technique also.
It goes in different phases where I was trying to, like when Eddie passed away, we all reacquainted with some tapping, or okay. my buddy Josh, who's so great with economy, not economy, with the hybrid picking. There's a lot of that I've done naturally with some of like but I never really developed it. So I want to work a bit more on the hybrid picking stuff. There's a lot of younger, newer players that employ that on such a high level, and it just makes sense that I want to further my technique along with some of those things, but I won't embarrass myself practicing in front of you. But so there's always a little bit of something will catch my attention, and I actually made myself a little list now that I want to look at when I wake up. Like, okay, practice these things. Don't forget to practice this. But so many times I'll pick up the guitar and it's just all playing.
Okay.
But that was always my, to be honest, that was always my path as a kid and throughout most of my life. I was never a great practicer. I was never a great, unless I had a teacher that I was, having to answer to when I was in school and stuff, then maybe I would have been practicing, all the modes and all the things. Then that helped me out. But my practice sessions normally just either turn into just playing or songwriting, I wish I was a more dedicated, Here's my 10-hour practice regimen like Vi has or something.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you can judge any tree from the fruits, and your fruits are pretty nice.
Yeah, maybe so, but everybody has their process. I always say everybody has to find what's right for them. If it felt like, oh, this is hard work or this is drudgery, you're not going to be inspired to want to do it. But if you love when you pick up the instrument, whatever your process, whether it's really studying hard all day and writing down transcriptions, that's a great path. If that's what really gives you that juice to want to do it, you know what I mean. But for me, when I really got back into, and it really was the simple decision to practice playing standards every day. If I do that first thing, it wakes up so much of the creative thing and technically too. When I did that on a consistent level, that's where I was seeing the growth, because it was helping me not have this be an obstacle and more of an extension. Like I talked about what we hear with Hendrix or with Eddie, and different players along the way, where it's just such an extension of their musical thought and not, oh gosh, I wish I could apply these things that I'm hearing. So by consistently doing that, that's what I get a lot of growth from that, and just more connection with the instrument. There's so much in everybody's life these days. We have kids, and there's a lot. Once you're an adult in the world, there's lots to take care of. So you just got to make sure you're giving yourself that time and making time for it, and it really pays off. It's really about the consistency.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Ciro.
Happy with the answer, Ciro.
Thank you, brother. Great to see you. I can't wait to hug you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Virtual,
I see Stefano is still waiting.
Yeah.
I see Stefano is still waiting behind. So if you fancy to wait, at the end of the live stream, we will have 5 minutes to say hello again, Ciro.
That's fine. Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you very much, Ciro.
Thank you,
guys. We will have a very special live streaming with Ciro Manna soon. So be prepared. Yeah.
I want to see you play that guitar with no tip. Awesome, man. You will make it sound way better than me. You'll play.
No, it's not true, man.
I know better. I've played with you, brother.
Okay.
Bye, brother. Thank you very much.
See you, man. Ciao.
Okay,
nice, man.
Andy,
nice.
What an amazing evening tonight.
Well,
really,
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah.
And thanks to everybody for tuning in wherever you are. Thank you for...
there are people from every country in the world, I guess.
That's awesome,
really.
man. Well, thank you.
Andy, you said you never been such a nice practicer, you know, but besides being an amazing guitar player and composer, you're quite a prolific teacher with many different didactic projects too. Yeah. And I want to show some of the project you have at the moment. Sure. Just give me a second, guys, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but Andy made many good things. First of all, there is there's the True Fire collection he made for True Fire, and this is an outstanding course you can get somewhere. And Electric Expression, it's amazing. It's my favorite. I have it all. Yeah. So I suggest you to go check on True Fire and check the courses for Andy Timmons. But the second one is this one. I guess it's even more interesting because it's a project you own. I mean, it's your GuitarXperience.
Yes.
Andy Timmons GuitarXperience. And it's very easy because I will send you the link, guys. I guess it's very cool. You got it on your YouTube and Twitch chat at the moment. And I guess it's a very nice project. Want to tell us something about this? Because it's not just lessons, it's about your guitar experience. I mean,
it's really meant to be just a reflection of my life on the guitar, and I'm doing it through a different song every month. I've gone methodically through my catalog, and every month will feature a new song. So it's partially about, I play the song on camera, and then I go through, and it's transcribed by a friend of mine, Alexander Calamari in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He transcribes it in PDF, like he'll do the regular tablature and notation, but also in Guitar Pro, so people can read it in that way. But then I do usually anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'll go through the entire song. I'll talk about the recording. I'll talk about the writing. But then I go through note for note, basically, and kind of break down each component. And the fun thing for me, and it got started when I started doing the True Fire things, I felt like I started developing a voice as a teacher, where I didn't feel confident as a teacher early in my career. There were so many things that I was doing that I really didn't know how to verbalize or explain. But through time and doing guitar clinics along the way, and I guess I developed more of an ability to communicate about the process. And you'll even see me in real time, because a lot of times when I'm doing the teaching, I just sit down and I haven't preconceived the lesson, but I'll be recognizing techniques along the way, and then I'll break that down and kind of explain what it is I'm doing and maybe how I got to that point. So it's not just about, here, I'm showing you my tune. It is that, and that's a cool part of it. But it's also the instructional process of why it is what it is and how it relates, and maybe some of the technique or some of the mental things that went into it. So it's been really great for me to kind of go through and document my body of work, so to speak, and to pass on, not just the performance of it, but really the nuts and bolts of how I got it to that point. And I love that process. I've really gotten to the point where I enjoy and value being a teacher. I guess it's because the older you get, maybe you feel you have some wisdom to pass on, right? And
yeah.
So this platform has given me that opportunity. So it's been a lot of fun for me, and I get lots of great comments from the people that subscribe, and they're getting a lot out of it. So
yeah, give it a check, guys. It's GuitarXperience.net. Guitar X, the letter X.
No E before X.
Yeah. Without the E. Just give it a check. There's plenty of nice contents with Andy playing and lessons, and really so many things every guitarist could desire it, I guess.
It's funny
for me for making this.
I find things as I'm teaching, I'm finding so much that I need to work on, because there may be ideas in some of my tunes that maybe was a nice idea, but man, I wish I would have done more with that kind of idea. So I'm teaching myself a lot. It's kind of, it's a win-win for me. I'm getting to show people stuff, and then I was like, oh yeah, I need to work on that. Yeah, but thanks, man. Thanks for checking that out.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a chance here not only to listen to your tune and music and having you doing some talking, but also to show your projects. Of course, the music can be found everywhere in any shop or Spotify, iTunes, or whatever. But I guess this particular projects like GuitarXperience or the didactic you have made for True Fire, those are real diamonds, you know. They are very precious. It's more than just music. It's all your lifestyle and you as a person whole, just not just only the music.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Someone is saying, is it illegal to play like this?
I have been arrested a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Listen, Andy, I guess we may have a little spot for some gear talking. You spoke about your Mesa Boogie and Ibanez. You have been cooperating with them since very long now, and you developed quite a few other collaborations, also like the compressor with Carl Martin, etc. Yeah, but fancy to share some of your gear secrets. I mean, what kind of pedals you use? You know, everyone it's the GAS addicted. So
GHS for sure. Oh, GAS, I got you. Yeah. Well,
gear acquisition syndrome.
The exact. Now I know what you mean. Sorry about that. I got my mic flying around. Yeah, the basic signal chain, like I explained in that first section about the Carl Martin with the RC in front of it. Then I've got another mid-gain tone where I had a signature preamp for Exotic called the BB preamp. And I'll put that also, it's odd, usually the compressor you would want before your gain, but I just accidentally kind of got into the habit of, those two Exotic pedals sound really good hitting the front end of the Carl Martin. But again, the Carl Martin's not really compressing as much as it's just a really front end boost, right? So this is the BB. Kind of an electric gypsy kind of tone. Then for more of the lead sound, I sometimes will go to the Lone Star lead channel with the BB in front of it, and I'll use that on the neck pickup. For kind of a more neck position bluesy pickup. Here's the AT-JHS pedal. Now to that I can add, I've got this wonderful Brazilian pedal by a company called G&I called the Octafuzz. It's basically replicating the old Hendrix Octavia. Love that tone. And I can also add, I've got a Pog, an Electro Harmonics Pog, which I get a lower octave. That's a lot of fun. Crazily enough, I've got an old ADA MP1 preamp that I can switch into my effects loop just to use the Lone Star power. So this is a very 80s thing to do. But this is the actual unit I used on the original Cry For You. That was the clean sound on that record. ADA, it's a solid state preamp on this particular setting with the ADA chorus. Very specific 80s sound. So that's another little secret sound I've been working on. It's pretty cool. The old ADA was cool. That's like when I toured with Danger Danger, when we toured with Extreme. Nuno Betancourt's sound back then on the Pornography. Sorry about my hair going flippy there. He was using an ADA MP1 preamp through a Macintosh power amp, and it sounded like Van Halen 1. It was incredible. So some of those old preamps can be pretty cool, and I figured out a way with my gig rig system to just employ that into the power section of that of the Lone Star. Let's see, what else do I have here? I don't have a preset for. Hold on. There's a great pedal by called the Retro Vibe by the Jam Pedal Company from Greece.
Whoa.
I've got a chorus by Black Country. My friends at Laney developed this really cool chorus pedal. Don't use it a whole lot, but it's on the board. I got a bit of verb now through the Big Sky on the timeline. Strymon Big Sky. Just a plate reverb. Good foundational tone there. But of course, I've got the dual delay setting on my timeline. Turn the reverb off. So it's just a delay. So that really is part of just about every tone that I have on the board. And I've got it set up in a dual delay, so you can hear stereo there. With a bit of modulation, so that when you hear the repeats, they just go out of tune, just barely at the end of the trails. So then if I play the note, there's kind of that, like a halo around the note, right?
What an amazing sound.
That's pretty much the deal. That's what I got going on. But all switching through my my gig rig G2. I'll have a G3 soon. He made an updated version, so I can't wait to get my hands on that. Daniel Steinhardt,
nice.
my genius friend over in Swindon in the UK, makes this great switching system. Yeah.
Yeah, I see people going out tonight and buy all the stuff and put it in the same sequence you have. But I have a funny story to tell you. Many years ago, I met Larry Carlton, and he had a very, very sophisticated pedal board.
Really?
And we had a funny story with him because he played with that fantastic tone he has.
Of course, yeah.
And then someone said they were really interested about the pedals and the pedals, many questions about the pedals. Yeah. And he said, guys, come here and play my pedalboard so you can feel the same. Yeah. And many also very nice guitar players tried, and no one had that tone. And then they said, but why we cannot have the same tone with the same pedals? Yeah. And he got out the car keys and he said, I have a remote to change the sound. But it wasn't true. We have been laughing for days.
That's awesome. He's got a remote. Okay, so one of I have a very fond memory of seeing Larry and Steve Lukather did a show here in Dallas, because they had that live record they put out on Favored Nations.
Yeah, Larry and Lee. No, it's I can't remember the name of the.
Anyway,
I will tell you in a second.
It won the Grammy for instrumental record that year. I can't think of the title either. But anyway, so they did a handful of shows in the States. I was lucky they came to Dallas, and I knew Steve a little bit, so I managed to go and got to hang. And Luke came out and played amazing and had a great sound and everything. But Larry came out, and his pedal board that night was a volume pedal.
No substitutions.
No substitutions. There you go. Yeah, it's a great record. And so he came. He had it was probably a Dumble and his 335 and a volume pedal. That was his pedal board that day. So that tells you everything you need to know about that guy's sound. Yeah. I love the fact that he's got the remotes. That's awesome. Anyway, we had a great. I got to take those guys out for tacos. It was a great night, man. I mean, just to be in the same room with Larry and Steve was just overwhelming. Two of my biggest heroes of all time.
They're also fantastic players.
Oh my God! I got so much. Well, Steve is probably my biggest overall influence of everybody, but Larry, I got so much from him. That first solo record of his, so much about tone, but also so much about treatment of every note. There was such, control he had with.
It's so elegant and control.
Yeah, the control and the bending and the pre-bending. So I can go back and listen to some of those recordings and I can hear that's where that comes from for me. That's where I got so much, even if it wasn't conscious at the time. It was just because I listened so much, and that just became part of me by that absorption in that way.
Yeah, we are trying to organize a live stream with Steve Lukather for the upcoming months.
Oh, that'd be great.
It will be amazing.
I'll tune in for that. Let me be the special guest on that one.
Of course. I will. I will inform you if we can manage to organize, especially now with all this situation.
Yeah.
But I guess there will be a chance. So if this
so.
will happen, I promise you will be the special guest, the secret guest for Steve Lukather.
I would love that.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So cool. Andy, just last question I want to ask because it's something we live at the moment, but inside this pandemic situation, there are also opportunities, I guess, and the world of live shows is changing in recent years, and this has been greatly accelerated by the COVID, due to the COVID. You already very active in online concerts, and I will spam the links again in a second. Do you think it could be the beginning of a new era, even when the COVID passed?
Yeah, I think so. I think like you and I were talking. I forget if it was in front of people or not. When we were just kind of getting online earlier to get things going. It was initially out of necessity because music's all I have, and I wasn't going to get unemployment, So it was nice. I just happened to see online a friend of mine was doing some live streaming shows. I said I need to learn how to do that. I had no idea how to do it, and then once I got into the habit of it, it just became like I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to do this every weekend. Why not do it? Kind of crazy that I'm doing 2 shows a day, but one was to make sure I had one for the European fans and one for the U.S. fans in the evening. So as I got better at it and the technology improved, I can easily see that even if I'm able to go out touring, I can still do these, when I'm home. And why wouldn't I want to do that? I mean, obviously I prefer to be with live players in a room with people. That's the connectivity. But I'm very thankful that now I know that this technology is there. So if I'm not out there doing it, I can still connect in this way. And why wouldn't we want to do that? It's been such a blessing. Obviously for a way for me to generate some income while I'm home and not able to tour. But the social aspect is in a very different way. I mean, obviously lives have changed since the advent of the computer anyway. I mean, all that, the way people were connecting, even kids, they'll be online gaming more than they are getting together at the, like we used to, meet at the record store, the music store. They'd rather be hanging online playing games with their headsets or whatever. So life had already changed before the pandemic, hugely because of the connectivity of the internet. But for some musicians to have that ability to play and present their art in a different way, I think is very, very good, and can just be. It should be an ongoing addition to once we get back to our previous ways of being able to get out and play for people. This can always be a component that should go on,
Okay, guys, we have a very nice gift from Andy beside tonight, but he arranged to have 2 live shows for you all on this Saturday. They will be on a platform. There is the name is Stage It. It's like this one, but you can get in, and he will do 2 live shows in a day. These are the I've made 2 bit.ly links, so it will be easier for you to remember. It's bit.ly/Andy Timmons live show 1 and live show 2. He has made it for even for United States people and European people, because it can be difficult to have.
If I was only doing the evening shows here, it'd be like, oh man, it'd be middle of the night for you guys,
Yeah, it's at 3:00 at the second show. I've sent you just now the link on YouTube and Twitch, so you can just click it, and there are 2 different timings. Just go on and enjoy this show. I've said at the beginning of this live stream, I've been in one of this show in May with Ciro and Sebo and many friends. It was amazing. Andy that night played all the ballads from his records, and it was amazing. So really, guys, it's a pretty nice surprise from Andy for us, and can be a very nice way to say thank you. To say thank you to Andy. Enjoy another show and give him a help, because the situation it's very complex for all the musicians, and many musicians are looking at this live stream and they know. So let's go, guys. Let's see this show. I will be there, so we can chat in the
definitely say hi. Say hi for sure.
You can say I will.
Awesome.
Okay, Andy, do you fancy to play just last song so we can say goodbye properly?
Let's do that.
Whatever you want.
I will pick a song. I'll probably go back over here. I'm going to end with some rock and roll. Let's try this one. Let's see. Let me turn my mic off.
This is the nice part of the live stream.
Stuff happens when I'm in control.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, just type a comment and let us see, and to Andy too, if you enjoyed this show. As you can see, all your comments from YouTube and Twitch are going straight to the live stream. So place your comments and submerge Andy with your cheerings and applause, even if they are digital, but they can be felt, I'm sure.
Okay.
You got it?
I think so.
Yeah, nice one. Very efficient. Absolutely amazing, Andy. Thanks a lot.
Rock and
there
roll.
are so many comments. I invite you. I know you don't see, you don't watch yourself playing again, but at least the 10 last minutes, you will see dozens, hundreds of comments. People are sending you all the love and shares. Really, it's amazing.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
it means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got one comment that I believe it can resume everything. Thanks, Andy. You're one of the latest rock messiah, and this wonderful instrument named guitar, an immense source of inspiration.
Well, thank you, man.
But you will see there are many. Right? I cannot name everyone. It will take 20 minutes.
Well, y'all are very kind, man. I appreciate you just hanging with me and Thomas and sharing in our joy and celebration of the guitar and music and life, you know. Just it's so much about being good to each other, you know, and let's continue to treat each other with respect and the kindness that everybody deserves, okay? I feel it here, so let's take it out into the world. World needs us, man. We
need to spread these feelings, I guess.
Absolutely. Let's keep it going.
Okay, Andy, stay here for a second, so we will meet again with Sebo and Ciro after the live show. And for you all that you have been with us tonight, thanks a lot. Yeah. It has been a terrific effort to organize all these things and give you this quality, even for free, you know. So go check the live concert Saturday with Andy. You will be amazed, guys. Please follow YouTube and or Twitch channel for Musicoff, because we have many more artists coming soon. Not like Andy, I know, but you will enjoy a lot of things. Just one last information. This Sunday we will have a special event on the afternoon. It's 5 o'clock. There is a big company, it's the Ableton. They just released the new Live 11 and we will do a live stream. It's a Live 11 unveiled. It will be on Sunday. So this will be another live streaming occasion for us. And there will be also Leo D'Angilla and Luca Colombo with us. There are two very nice musicians in Italy, you know, Andy. So, okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Andy, again.
Thank you,
so
Thomas.
All done. And
awesome, man.
Wait for and you are looking at this live stream, wait for the last piece of stream so you can keep commenting and see you are flowing with many comments now for Andy. And see you soon. Goodbye, folks.
Thanks, ciao. Buonanotte.